Welcome to Fuel Online Research and Development. What are we doing today? Not really sure. Well, I've got a workout, but as far as the format, this is what I'm playing with. And this is where it's going to appeal to a broader audience, is that we've got movements and modalities. What that means is that we have our movement archetypes. So if you think squat, hinge, push, pull, and then we have our modalities, kettlebell, dumbbells, barbells, and that's where the variation is really going to begin. So for this workout today, I'm going to lead you through, well, first I'm going to explain what we're doing for the workout. This is the intro, by the way. The second part is then going to be, I'm going to take you through a full general prep, and then we're going to go through the pattern grooving. Those are going to be the movements for the workout. And when we go through the pattern grooving, I'm going to explain how to apply these to different modalities. So if I'm demoing with kettlebells or rings, and you don't have either of them, then I'm going to explain what pieces of equipment you can use. Once we've gone through the movements and modalities, you're on your own. You follow the workout as it's stated in WADUP. And one of the reasons why we're doing this, again, caters to a larger group of people who have different equipment. Second thing too, music. That's one thing. It's tough to keep music going the whole time. Everyone has their own variation or likes and dislikes. This is always something constant going on at Fuel, so you'll be able to take over the workout. And then also time. When we were evaluating the Fuel Online workouts, you see people drop off after a certain period of time. So what this is going to allow is, you know what the workout is, you know how to make that workout based on what you have available to you, and then you go and you do the workout. Of course, everything will be hosted on WADUP, which is going to allow you to still feel part of the community. And this was my little rant to not just pep talk those of you watching, but to sort of give myself an idea of what I'm going to do. And I want to grow this. So any feedback, it's going to help if you actually put it in the comments of this workout, because then I can build on it for the next workout. So let's get started. Today's workout is a little bit of a mishmash, and to be completely honest and selfish, I'm still recovering from a fairly long paddle on the weekend. So I'm going to go through some strength movements with the goal of loosening up full body, working on some patterns, which I haven't been doing a lot of lately, and it's going to be more of a strength feel. So if you're looking for something that is going to be get your heart rate up a little bit, but more to work on movements, work on a little bit of strength, not very high intensity, that's the objective for today. So let's get started with this warm-up. And for each of the warm-ups, you're going to see in the outline what's required. And if you don't have them, then that's fine. You can sort of skip through. But the general prep is always going to be just getting ready for the movements. So I've got a softball and a foam roller, but you can definitely use a lacrosse ball. And if you're in a pinch, tennis ball. Golf ball will be a little bit painful. And then a foam roller. Those are the two pieces of equipment. I also like to have a wall, an exposed wall, and I'll show you why. So if you have that set up now, you won't need to fumble that when we move into the wall arm slides. General prep will be 10 minutes. Then we'll go into our pattern grooving. So let's get started here. Bum down on the ground, heel shoulder width apart, and I'm just going to go through some rotations. Start to prep through the spine. Now as I move back and forth, my chest is following the knees, but those knees drop right down to the ground. So nice and loose. Maybe a couple cracks through the spine for 2, 1, and now I'm going to stay in this 90-90 position here, keeping my outside arm down onto the ground. I want to reach gently forwards with my opposite arm, and then I'm going to come up, sweep the leg across, I'm going to hinge. Okay, I'm going to reach back, arm out in front, and reach. Get some spinal flexion and extension, and reach. 2 more here. 2. Reach a little bit further each time. And as I'm reaching with that arm out in front of me, I am lengthening. Think about pushing that back leg as far back as you can. Okay, and then hinge. And we're going to go on the other side. Rotate onto that other side. 90-90 position. Reach. Gentle on that first one. Sweep the leg across. Hinge for 5 reps. Reach. Hinge. So good spine prep. It's going to be a slower pace today. How I like the Mondays. 2 more here. Reach. hinge. Last one. Reach that back leg behind you, front leg forwards, reach, and hinge. I'm going to flip into a tabletop. Go into a little child's pose rock. So that rock is sinking the butt back to the heels and then going left to right. Feel that stretch through the lats, through the shoulders, lengthening through the spine. And then I'm going to come forwards into some extension. Notice how I open up my hands. Fingers are pointing out. This is going to take pressure off the wrists, load up the shoulders, and then I'm just going to roll left, roll right, roll left, and roll right, back and forth. And then one more cycle here. Butt comes back down to the heels. Reach that butt back down, over and back, reach and rock, and forwards into extension. Fingers out, drop the hips down, over and back. Now we're going to grab the roller, start here, and go into the quads. So you start with one. Now, if you've got a longer roller, you can do both at the same time. Okay, but I'm going to start with one leg. Now I just want to find a spot along the leg, so sort of middle, that I feel a good band of sort of ropey feeling muscle, and then from here, I'm going to pin and extend. I start at the knee, and I slowly roll that roller up to the hips as I'm pulling my heel up to the butt. Ooh, tight, and extend it. So I'm going to pin it as I roll and extend. Start to loosen up the quads here. 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to go onto the inside of the quad a little bit here. So I'm going to do inside, and I'm going to pin and extend. Again, working up to the hips. Not spending a lot of time here, just prepping the muscles. I'm particularly tight through the quads, which is why I'm spending some time here. Good. On the other side. If you're still got a long roller, you're doing both sides at the same time. Continue there. Okay, I want to find that ropey area. Map it out. Start from the knee and then pin and pull that heel to the butt as I'm rolling towards the hip. It's not as bad on this side, so I spend a little bit less time. 2, 1. Roll back down inside of the thigh. Pull the heel to the butt and extend. Pull the heel to the butt and extend. Good. Okay. Moving that roller. That's all we're using for the roller today. Now to the ball. 2 ways that we can do this. You can either do this on the ground or against the wall. Depends really. If you've got breasts, it's probably going to be easier to do it against the wall. If you're on the ground, because you don't have the wall, it'll work in a pinch as well. But what I want to work on here is getting this ball into the pec area. So while I'm against the wall here, I'm going to be pressing up against the ball, make sure it's on the muscle, and I'm going to be moving my arm around. So as I press into the wall here, I'm going to roll around on the ball, and then arm comes up. And I just want to roll, find some area there, in through the chest. A little bit tighter. Again, ropey is the term we'll use, sort of like knots. Okay, muscle should be, if you think about a piece of meat, you press a rare piece of meat. It's got a lot of give to it. You press in, get thumbprint, right? That's what your muscle should feel like. If you go to press in, it feels like a well-done piece of steak or well-done piece of meat. Okay, that's what I define or refer to as being ropey. And that ropey area is what we're working on to loosen up. I'm going to switch sides here. Because when we do this before, and it's better to do this before, it prepares the muscles, allows them to be a little more pliable. What I mean by that is mobile, but also they give, so they go back and forth. So you get some flexibility and mobility. Okay, and I've got my arm up because this lengthens the chest muscle. Another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Prepped in there. That's all I'm using for that one today. And come back down onto the ground, knees out wide. Okay, into a frog position. It's going to be my frog to internal rotation. So first I want to find a nice wide position with my knees where I feel an equal stretch, but not too much on the left and right side. And now as I rock, my butt comes back. I'm gonna bring my left hand forward, left leg rotates, and I shift my right hand, right leg. So I use that same hand as the leg that I'm gonna rotate just to help with balance. Sit back into the frog, get some internal rotation, and I'm gonna press the hips forwards as I kick, okay, as I kick that heel around. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, from this position, I'm gonna thread the needle, reach, and rotate. For 3, 2, 1, switch sides. 3, 2, and 1. Coming with this theme of animal movements that we've been doing for the warm-up, we're going to now go through a little beast step progression here. So wrists first, I want to get my fingers separated, and I'm just going to circle, prepare the wrists in this beast position. Circle in one direction, circle in the other direction. Feel the stretch through the forearms. Feel the stretch through the forearms. Okay, then I'm going to flip those hands over, palms up, fingers facing each other, back and forth, and get the hands back onto the ground here. And I'm going to go scapular push-up with the knees down on the ground. I want to find this pattern, okay, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. And then I'm going to pop my knees off the ground, so roll those fingers underneath, feet wider, hands narrower, and I'm going to alternate tapping, keeping my core nice and tight. When we do the warm-up, it's important that we're working on keeping yourself braced, preparing for more loads. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees stay off the ground, arms forward, and go loaded beast, and then beast wave to a reach. Knee comes to the forearm, hips come up high, butt comes down. Knees are off the ground, so hips up high, bring the leg up, point the toe, reach, up high, then back down. Now instead of just the reach, we're gonna step. So I wanna step, lift the chest up, hand comes back down, loaded beast. Step, hand comes up, back down, loaded beast. We're gonna have rotation now. Front hip. Okay, as being translated here, this rotation through the knees coming forwards. And circles, I should say, that's the rotation. Circles, 3, 2, 1. Now the inside arm down towards the ground and rotate. Thread the needle if you can. 2, 1. We'll work on these warm-up times. Loaded beast, step forwards. I really worked on quite a bit, the general prep for my own personal well-being. So my workouts got longer, not necessarily because the warm-ups or the workout itself was getting longer. The warm-ups were getting longer. Switch directions, circles. So I put this timer on. 10 minutes was the manufactured suggested time spent. 2, 1. Inside arm down to the ground. We'll go just a little bit longer. 3, 2, 1. Loaded beast. And good. And then from here, I'm staying stretched. Knees are off the ground. Hips come up, straighten out. I'm going to pedal out in this down dog. Feel the stretch. The back of the legs. Load up the shoulders. Notice how I'm rotating the hips. I press one in, so my right heel comes down. Pressing the left foot. My left heel comes down. So I should say pressing the right hand. So right heel, left hand, left heel, right hand. And we come back into the beast. Scat push-ups for 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tall plank, windmill, open up. We want to work on loading a single shoulder. Open up the shoulder in the top. 3, 2, 1. And a slow push-up for 3 reps. Coming down nice and slow, knee or shoulders away from the ears. Push up, slow down. One more. Push up and inchworm up. Slowly around the spine. One vertebrae at a time, hands on the backs of the hips. Push hips forwards, lean back. Let's go into some squats. Find position. So I've got my heels just on the edge of the mat here. Creates a little bit like a heel wedge or heel lift. That'll help if you don't have great mobility. 2, I'm still rehabbing my Achilles. 1, stay on the bottom. Takes a little bit longer to warm up. So I'm just pedaling out now here. Sink those heels down. For those of you who haven't done a warm up with me for a while, this will feel somewhat familiar. Sink down, leverage those knees out nice and wide. Rotate and back. Rotate and back in. One more. Sink down here and up. Single leg hinge for 5. Keep that other foot off of the ground. Work on your balance. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch sides. You do this on a mat. Okay, makes it a little bit tougher. Can't connect to the floor as well. 3, 2, and 1. Last part, using that wall. Again, wall arm slides. So I want to get my low back flat against the wall, heels down the ground, head and shoulders, and then press straight overhead. And 20 reps, 18. Get those hands gliding, forearms straight up and down. Keep the elbows on the wall where you can, but those hands stay on. 10. 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. Warm up. I should say general prep complete. What was that? Just under 15 minutes, yeah. I think I was spending about 20 minutes a lot of the time on it. And you know, for some of you, it's probably beneficial. For me, it's beneficial for everyone, but it does come down to a time constraint. So now we're going to go into our next part, which is going to be our pattern grooving. 3 parts. First part, Turkish get up. Again, get up is going to be like a warm up. Our goal today is movement and stability. We're not going heavy movements. We're not going high volume movements, but we're going to be working on movement and stability. We're going to start Turkish get up. We are going to go through 6 EMOM minutes. Okay, so that's every minute on the minute. We are going to go through 2 reps, and we're going to go 2 reps on one side, and then we're going to go 2 reps on the other side. I'll show you how to make it a little bit more challenging if you want to. Our second part is going to be a superset between ring dips and dumbbell rotational rows. If you don't have the ring dip, we're going to be going into a double kettlebell dip, or you can do these on a dip machine, or you can do these on boxes, anything that gets you elevated. If you don't have a dumbbell, you can do the rotational row with a kettlebell. You can even use it with a cable machine. This one, we're going to be cycling through it, but it's going to be 5 sets. And it's going to be a 2-minute set, 5 2-minute EMOMs, and we're going to rotate through our rep structure based on how many you can do with the ring dip, okay, on your variation, and then we are going to be going through 8 and 8 on the row. The third part, we're going to be going into a double kettlebell cluster, and that double kettlebell cluster is a clean and thruster, and this is going to be a 10-minute EMOM. Now, go at your own pace here, but we want to find a rep scheme. It's going to be a range. Anywhere between 4 to 8 reps. It allows you to focus on the movement. Okay, it's not going to be to burn out, although if that's what you're trying to do today, go closer to the 8 reps and go heavier weight. Here are our movement demos. The get up. Again, if you have not done the get up yet, I'm assuming that you've done it before, but there's a full instructional video. Check the link above. Let's go through 2 reps per side here. So get up, fetal position to get started. Press straight up, make sure you've got a good, nice arm tuck or arm strength. Now I can't even remember the word. Getting the bell onto the back of the arm. So you've got a good position here with the bell resting on the arm. Got our false grip, foot planted flat on the ground, leg out nice and wide. We want to find this base of support. And in a week 1 video, I'm going to go into more detail with the movement itself. And then as we progress through week 2 and week 3, it's expected that you know these base setups. Arm is out to the side. I'm going to press up through the foot. I'm going to press the arm into the ceiling. I'm onto my forearm, slide onto the hand. I'm going to sweep. I'm going to hinge, get into my half kneel, rotate, stand up, finish this movement, come back down the half kneel, open up, hinge, paint the ground, hand comes onto the ground. I'm going to sweep, leg is out, forearm down to the ground, and I'm back in my reset position. I can do this 1 more time. Now for a little extra flavor, so you don't have heavy kettlebells, I can go into a floor press, add a couple reps here, and then continue into my next set. Up, down, rotate, come all the way up. And I'm a little rusty with these too, not been able to do them. They feel good. And then back down. No presses on this one, did those 2 already. Fetal position. I roll around the kettlebell. The kettlebell does not roll around me. Much easier that way, safer. Fetal position. Arm is up, foot flat on the ground, arm out to the side. Drive up through the forearm, press up through the hand, sweep, hinge, half kneel, rotate, and back down. I can get 2 floor presses in. It's nice and light. 1, 2, drive up through the hand or through the foot, into the forearm, into the hand, rotate that shoulder like we did with the windmills in the warm-up, hinge, rotate, stand up, and back down. Open. Here we go. Good. Down. That's our get up. Okay, so think of these pattern grooves as the warm-up, the actual movement prep for the warm-up. So with the ring dip, I'll demo the other alternative here. With the ring dip, if you're not able yet to do a full dip, couple things. Make sure they're low enough so you can jump up into a ring hold. You need to be able to hold with your palms somewhat forwards for at least 30 seconds. If you're not there yet for the 30 seconds, just work on the hold. So level 1 here is going to be your ring dip hold. Now, if you can't yet hold on those, then this is also going to be your modality shift, which is the kettlebell dip. And you use your legs to help hold this position. Then to make it a little bit harder, you lift 1 foot off. Okay, and then when you want to make it much harder, in fact, this is tougher than the rings, you lift your feet off into that hold. But the ring dip itself, we want to get chest down to the ground. And our level 2 is going to be hold, down to the ground, jump up. Level 2, hold slowly down to the ground. Notice that I'm going under tension down. I'm not falling straight down, but then jumping back up. That's our level 2. And then the level 3, which is the dip itself, push down, up, palms forwards, down, up, palms forwards. Okay, I already showed you the level 1 here, which was that hold. Level 2, okay, so this should be a little bit easier. With your feet on the ground, press up and down. All right, and if you have access to Matador bars or ring dip bars, which are the parallel bars, go through dips. You also stack up boxes. So just make sure you guys have gotten about 5 to 10 reps there. That's our second part. That's our superset. Again, refer to WOD up for specifics on timing, but it's going to be 5 sets, 2-minute EMOMs, max reps in your ring dip progression. Okay, and we're going 8 and 8 on the next one, which is coming into our rotational row. So the rotational row, typically when we row, I want to keep the back nice and straight. Now this is deliberate, but in a rotational row, I want to rotate. And what this is creating is a little bit more force through the midsection, but it needs a little more awareness. If you're not able to do this with your back staying extended, right, and straight, then I would prefer that you are keeping your back straight and just going into a regular row, because a rotational row adds a level of complexity that assumes you already have basic movement. So let's go through 8 reps. I'm going to Put one hand, I'm gonna brace it on the dumbbell rack here, and I'm gonna hinge over, reach down, pull up to the rib cage. Okay, this is also known as a bad row. If you were doing a regular row, get that rotation. 3, 2, and 1. All right, so if I were doing this with a kettlebell, I didn't have the rack to hold on to. I can go chair, I can go wall, I can go folding workbench. Okay, same idea here. Back is straight, rotate, pull, rotate, pull. So I'm getting that rotation in and with pull. Why do we do this? Okay, we create a different movement plane than what we're typically used to by getting this rotation in. 4, 3, we're recruiting other muscles. 2, 1, and teaching your body how to rotate and move. And this is important because as you begin to rotate, if you don't know how to keep that spine straight, then you start to lock in the spine. That's when you get your discs compressed. So those are our C1, C2, B1, B2 movements. When you go through your, I'm going on here, but it's really gonna be about WOD up. When we go through this is my reference, my ring dip and a rotational row, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, max reps on your ring dip, 8 and 8 on the rotational row, 5 reps, 2 minutes. As I get back into this thing, I get much better. Okay, once we finish that, we go into our third part. And the third part is gonna be a double kettlebell cluster. Now it's a vertical cluster as well. Okay, one of the reasons we want to create some tension here, we're going to be going through effectively all four movement archetypes. We're going to be going through a hinge, a squat, a push, and a row. So with this double, I'm going to start with my palms out, thumbs back towards me. I want to hinge. Okay, and now this is going to be with kettlebells. If you're doing this with dumbbells, it's going to be tough as long as you make sure that your back is straight. They don't need to go straight down to the ground. Okay, you can have them actually on plates. So if I stacked up some plates because I'm not able to keep my back straight, this is going to be for all hinge. Any hinge prep, if you can't get down to the position where you need to pick up that hinge, then you need to lift up the ground. Okay, and by lifting up the ground, I mean create risers. So with those plates up, it means I can make it a little bit safer for my back. But I'm going to go assume you're making that change. Kettlebells are actually easier than dumbbells because they're higher up, but I want to go into a front rack position. I'm just going to go through 4 reps here. So in the front rack position, full squat, press. Back down the chest, down the ground, rack, squat, press. Down the ground, rack, squat, press. And one more. Like so. Now it makes it a little bit tougher, that vertical instead of the regular clean. So if you're having trouble with the vertical, you can always go into the regular clean. This is going to make it a little bit more efficient. I should be careful. It's not necessarily easier. It's different. So those are our movements. That is our pattern grooving for the day. Now how this will work, this next part, is you go right into the workout. You've got WOD up set up with the sets and reps, how you're going to follow it, put on your own playlist. I've got a timer link, which is a recommended app that you can use that's going to allow you to keep going through. For those of you that aren't setting it up on your watch or have your clock, there's a timer app in there. It's very easy to set up. Go through this workout. This one's going to take about 30 minutes. Just focus on movement. Objective today, good movement. Don't worry about how much weight you're lifting. I mean, I've already got my heart rate up and sweating a little bit, probably because I haven't been talking during workout for a while. But let me know your feedback in this. What do you want to see more of? What do you want to see less of? Am I releasing you now into the wild too soon? Do you still need your hand held through the workout? Whatever that is, let me know. See you on the leaderboard.